average x, min x, max x, sum x. We are done, and the remaining things we need to continue. The count x, count blank, count rows, distinct count a x. And what do you mean by min a, max a, and the other things. Now the next function is I will start with the next one is cross join. So if you want to perform a cross join, or if you want to perform a join, you have an option called cross join function in DAX. So here I have employee table is there, I have department table is there. If I want to perform a join, here I have an option called a new table. So cross join, it is going to perform a join and the return type is a table. Cross join, the table 1 is a department table, and then after employee table. If execute it, it is given 24 records where you have a 4 departments are there and 6 employee records are there. 6 into 4, 24 records came. It will perform a cross join on the two tables. So 10, 20, 40 is the 3 departments that we have, and employee table we have 8 records. 8 into 3, 24 records came here. So on top of it, if you want inner join functionality, you can write another condition. So mention that filter the cross join on this one, and then after you can specify a condition over here. Okay, so you can provide a condition that the department of department ID equals to employee of department ID. Like this you can write a conditions, and you can filter down the result set. You can see that only 6 records came. Wherever both those are matching, only the relevant records are coming. So here for 10 only IT came, for 20 HR came, 20 HR. So inner join functionality was achieved. Like that you can write a condition over here whatever you want. So for now ignore all these filter and conditions. Cross join will perform a cross join functionality. Cross join is nothing but each record in one table is going to join with all the records in another table. So that was happened with the help of cross join function. And the next one is rank. Sometimes whenever you want to perform a rank, see I can showcase top n records as part of my visualization. I can showcase the top n, but I want to showcase that boss this is the rank. I want to showcase the number also. I know the top 3, top 5 I can showcase, but I want to showcase in this whenever I select a country, or whenever I select a state, or whenever I select a city, always it need to showcase top 10. Top 10 it will showcase, but I want to give the numbering also. What is the number of that one? So if I want to showcase the number, I have a rank function there. With the help of a rank, I can generate a ranks. So here, sales amount. Let me reduce this table. Okay. So I have book wise, city name wise, state wise, amount paid I have. Now I am creating a measure. This is a measure. We have rank x function is there. So it is saying that returns the rank of an expression evaluated in the current context in the list of values for an expression evaluated for each row in a specified table. Statement is very long. Returns the rank of an expression evaluated in the current context. It is going to evaluate a rank, that's it. So leave about all those things. You need to mention what is the table, on what table, and then after what is the expression and the order. So here on a sales data table, the expression or a value, or you can call it as the amount paid. I am mentioning as sum of amount paid. I am mentioning sum of amount paid and a value. So value, what is the column name that you want to provide? Okay, so you can ignore that one. And order, ascending or descending, the ranks you want to generate in ascending or descending order. Descending order. If the rank, if the values matches, how you want to generate? You have a rank, dense rank, two options are there, right? If you want to make dense, you can select it, or skip means that you will get a gaps between the ranks. So whenever you create it, a measure got created. Now go to that amount paid and the rank. It is showcasing 1. Showcasing 1. Now city name wise, the ranks were generated. It is showcasing 1. Or book name wise, if you select, it is showcasing 1. Why it is showcasing 1 is at that context, at that row, it is only the one record. That's why it was returning only 1. But the rank must be generated by considering all the values, right? By considering all the values. So in that context, what you need to mention is like first understand that whenever I am generating a rank, it considered only that record. If you consider only that record, as there is no other values, automatically rank will be 1. Okay, so what you need to consider is you need to consider all the values. To generate a rank for this one. So how you can consider all the values? Even though I am calculating at this row level, how I can consider all the values is we have an option called we have an option called all function. I will say that all of sales data are all of sales data I mentioned. One second. All of state sales data of state. One second. One second. All it need to support so sales data Let me create a separate measure for a sum of that one. Yes. So it become some issue with that measures that I created. So here, if I consider the book name, you are able to see that there are different values was generated. Okay, so there are different values was generated. We'll analyze each and everything now. So first let's take state name, and the value. State name and a value. So here the amount paid is 27, 21, 8. It was generated as a rank 1, and here data of state, you can see that so here you can see that I provide an expression saying that first the measure 2 is nothing but the sum of amount paid, and this measure I provided that rank x of, I want to generate a rank against to the sales state, like against to the state, and the value that we used is a measure, the sum of value. I want to generate a rank based on the descending value of whatever the expression that I provided, and whenever the value is matched, I want to generate a same rank, and I don't want to give the gap. So that is what the expression that we provided. So this is the value as it is a 27. 27 it's the highest value, that's why it is giving a 1, and 214802 Maharashtra as it is third value, it was generated rank as a 3. And if you are not provided all, it is going to give 111 because the context is only that row. But here we need to generate the values based on the by considering all the values. So then that's why we mentioned all. And whenever you consider, let's remove that state, state and city, it is giving only 111. Why? Because we are not specified. We specified that, but consider only state. If you consider city also, if you mention that you consider city also, based on a city also, it is going to give. You can see that from a top to bottom, the ranks were generated. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The ranks were generated. As I mentioned state and city, now you can add state and city both. So based on those two things, you are generating a ranks. Okay, irrespective of a state and city, based on the value you are getting the ranks. And similarly, if you want to generate a rank against a book name, so let me remove these two things. Here the ranks are 1. So here, as I didn't covered the book name over here, it was not came, so I added a book name also. I added sales data of the book name, book name I added, something went wrong. Just a second. Let me remove the others. So book name, now you can see that. So based on that value of that measure, the ranks were generated. I'm not sure like previously why it was not generated. Whenever I mentioned the city name, it got missed. Fine, ignore that one. But whenever you are generating a rank, we are not considered that many parameters. So you are going to specify the column against what you want to generate a rank. What are the dimension values that you want? You are going to consider here, and then after whatever the measure and which order you wanted to generate, and ascending or descending, like skip or dense, you are going to specify. So based on the values, it is going to generate a rank. And whenever you have the same value repeated, the same rank will come, and immediately the next number will come whenever you use a dense. Based on ascending or descending, how you want to generate a rank, you have this one. So this is what the rank function, which is going to generate a rank based on the value that you have. And you need to use that all function. All is to consider all the values. To consider all the values, like sometimes as part of a table you need to calculate. Let's assume you have a 3 values will be there. You need to represent what is this value out of all the values. Okay, let's assume this is a 20, this is a 30, this is a 30 and a 20 or some other values. So I want to showcase what is this value in out of all. What I need to do, this 20 by, I need to give the sum of all. How I can generate that measure? Whenever it is calculating, it will consider only this record. How it can hold all the values? So at that time I will use all function. So all function is one of the function under a category of filter functions. We'll discuss. That is what the rank function is. It is going to generate a ranks. Okay, and the next one is top n function. Top 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 function is going to return the top n records as part of an expression that you provided. So here, one second. So here, top new table. The top n function returns a given number of top rows according to the specified expression. So it is going to return a number of records from a table. As it is also returning a table, I am creating a table here. I want to generate a top 5 from a, what is the table name? The sales data table, and order by an expression. The expression, like based on what you wanted to generate. So I based on the measure 2, which is nothing but measure 2, which is nothing but sum we are going to give, and which order you want to get, in a lowest 5 you want or highest 5 you want. So highest 5 I want. And so if you want to perform ordering based on any other expression, so you can write it, but I don't want all those things, so one level is fine. So it is like group by, you can provide a multiple levels, right? Order by, you can provide a multiple levels. In the same way, if you want get the records based on multiple level of ordering, you can use that one, but for now I can get based on the amount paid top 5 records in descending order I want. You can see that top 5 records, like amount paid is highest is available for 750, amount paid highest is available for 750 for the books called C sharp. Okay, so those are the different records are there, that's why it was returned. But let me select another one, top 10. You can see that, so the C sharp is the first one and C is the second one, which is having the highest values. But as the value is same, it is getting the remaining records also. Overall 16 record it was retrieved. So instead of doing that one here, we'll do here based on employee table, I will consider employee ID as a value. So all these are distinct values, you'll get a proper understanding. So here new table, top 3, the table name is sales data, order by an expression, I can consider it as employee ID in a descending order. As all are distinct records, let's say employee table, employee of employee ID. You can see that top 3 distinct values you are getting. Okay, so even if you mention top 5, okay, so you can give top n whatever you want, it is going to get n number of records, top n. So previously for our expression whatever we provided, as we have a distinct values you got a multiple records, but as we have a no distinct values here, you are able to see that the unique records are getting displayed. So that is what top n function. And the next one is row function. So whenever you are calculating any aggregation, if you want to record it as part of your table value, let's consider it's a kind of metadata. So whenever I loaded a data, I calculate the value, or I can consider that I want to store a measure value as part of a table. A measure value, I want to store it as part of a table in a DAX, like in a Power Pivot model. At that time, you can use the row function. So here, row function, what it is going to do is, it's a new table that we are creating. So row returns a single row table with a new column specified by the DAX expression. So if you want to construct a table, or if you want to store your measure data as part of a table, you can use the row function. So here I am saying that in a row table, like row amount paid, I am saying the expression as it is a textual value, I am providing this double quotes and sum of amount paid. So whatever the amount of paid that I have, that was stored, that measure was stored as part of a table, one of the table in a column. If you want to save your measures or an expression values as part of a table instead of like another measure or a column, you can use row. Here you can generate a multiple columns based on your requirement. Okay. So you can store a value as part of a table. That is what a row function. And count blank and count rows. So count blank is going to calculate. Here I am calculating a new measure. Count blank of a column name, which is going to calculate the blank values. You can refer the count the number of blanks in a column. If you have any blank values, you can calculate it. So as part of the join that you are going to perform, sometimes empty records will be there from one side table, left join, right join. If you perform at that time, if you want to calculate count blank, or sometimes count distinct also there. Like if you want to calculate the blank values, the blank records of that specific column, you can use a count blank. If there is any blank values, it is going to return that count. And similarly, count distinct, like distinct count of the record. Like you can consider the number of books that I am selling. Okay, what are the distinct number of books that I have? If I want to know, I have 136 records, or 132 records are there. What are all the different books that I am going to market? So I can take the distinct value of that book name, that will give the value. So if you want to calculate the distinct values, so as part of your fact table, some records will be duplicated based on their ID. Okay, why? Because we are going to get all the records. So not to uniquely identify a record, we are going to take a distinct count. So distinct count is nothing but a count distinct functionality in a SQL server. It is going to calculate the distinct values count, and that is what count blank and distinct count and count rows. So count blank is going to count the blank values of a column. Distinct count is going to calculate the distinct values of a column. The count rows is going to calculate the number of rows of a table. If you want to perform a count of star, so whenever you are using a count of column name, like you have a different functions are there. See, like you have, I don't know why this color coming. You have count A functions are there, and count blank function is there. Count A, count blank. Count is like you are going to provide a column as input, column as input, column as an input. So whenever you provide a count column as the input, what it is going to do is it will take only the values which are having a numeric. In a column, if I have a 3 numeric values and a 2 blank values, or 2 logical values, or 2 textual values, 5 values are there in a column. Count function is going to take only numeric values into consideration, and that count is going to give. Count A will consider that all the other types also, like textual, logical, everything, and it is going to give that count. Count blank only distinct values count is going to return. So I don't consider all this nonsense. I want to see the number of records that the table has. At that time, I have count rows function is there. the count rows function, going to take the table name as input, and it count the rows in a table. So it is going to count the rows in a table, and that is for a table level. That is what count blank, distinct count, count rows, and the count x. You know X function. What is a count? Is nothing. Count and count A. You need to understand. If you know these two things, the expression functions we already discussed. So count as I conveyed. Count here the count of sales data book name counts the numbers in a column. It numbers in a column. If you have any numbers, it is going to calculate. Remember the method name called 5. The book name I given. So the count of book name, whenever I given a book name, it is given a 132. It behaves some nonsense functionality. So generally the count function is evaluate if there is a number. Okay, so here the book name not containing any numbers, it was returned 132. That will be fine, but the functionality of the count is counts the numbers in a column. If you have a numbers as part of that column, it is going to calculate the count. And count A count the number of values in a column. Okay, number of values in a column, like even it is going to consider the textual values, all the values. Okay, so but both are giving fine. I don't have any concerns over here. The count A, but understand that like here it might display, but another stage it might fail. Like count is going to calculate in a single column if you have any numbers. Let's assume these two are having numbers and these are having textual values or blank values. It is going to give only this count. And if it is containing a textual values, it will not give any count. Fortunately, you are getting here. But the count is going to give the count of the numbers. Count A is going to calculate all the data types, not only numbers. So that is what the functionality of a count and count A. In the same context, you have a count X, count AX functions are there, which is nothing but whatever we discussed. Count X, whenever you are performing an expression, at that time after performing an expression, if it is a number, it is going to give that count. So that is what count X and count AX. And so min A, max A, average A, what do you mean by A functions are nothing but, so consider an example of average A. So average A, whenever you are performing average A, the same, it is going to consider whenever you are performing a average. Let's take an example, if it work or not, fine. So let me create a table. Here a 100, 200, 300, 300 blank 300. So I am creating a one table. Not. So here I have values like how many records? 7 records are there. I want to calculate the average of this column. So I am calculating a new measure here, average, average, the column name, that table 1 of A. Some measure was calculated. What is the value? You'll understand. It was getting an error. Cannot work with the values of type string. So completely the data type was considered as a string. Let me it will not convert. I know. So just a second. Fine, no issues. I need to remove A now. If you want to modify anything of the table that we created, so close and apply. If you take the data like this, it will be having an issue. Convert the column of decimal term. How you will convert? How to handle this one is nothing but new column of the value of table 1 of A. Convert a value of type text to a number. Ignore this one. We'll see as part of tabular SSAs. Okay. So what is the functionality of that average and average A is? So generally, whenever you consider the average or count or all these things, it will consider only the numeric values, and for that numeric values only average will be performed. But if you have any blank values, but if you have any data type other than like blank values or boolean values, at that time it will be ignored whenever you use the average. Whenever you use average A, even that values will be considered, and that based on that count the average will be performed. That is what average A. Okay. Similarly, the same the min max also. So whenever you use a min function or max function, it will consider only the values. It will not consider a boolean values. Okay. So it will not consider a boolean values. It will not consider any textual values. If you use the min A max here, it will consider the boolean values also, and it is going to return a value. That is what the A function functionality, and these are the functions that we have as part of statistical. There are a couple of functions that I mentioned that summarize selected columns and all those things. Those will be discussed as part of filter functions. So far whatever we discussed, those are under the category of statistical functions. Anyone has any question on it?
No,
Okay, fine. Karthik V, any questions? Unmuted.
is there any website for that for this?
Shankar, can you please repeat?
Is there any website for that for it to log
Like
in DAX?
DAX means you have a DAX reference is there in Microsoft site. I used to refer from there. And if you want to go through individual function, there are many other blocks are there, but uh, you don't have nowhere like all the functions together properly arranged. Even the DAX reference is having a lot of issues. Like so, I used to refer MSDN site. From here you can capture the functions, but here you will not have a clear explanation or proper example will not be there. It's kind of a textbook. Okay, fine.
Fine, Srini. So we can, based on our requirement, we can
That's it.
give result to business person.
Yeah, I think your voice is too breaking, Shankar. Yes, whatever you said that is correct, and we'll discuss on a chart. Okay, fine. So the next category of functions are, I'm just mentioning the functions over here. We'll discuss in next class only. The next category of functions are the filter category. So if I go with the time intelligence also, I need to refer these functions as we discussed all function as part of rank. So here all function is there, all except function is there. Okay, fine, sir, no problem. Thanks for attending. All except and all selected, all selected and all non or no blank row, and then after calculate one of the important function and calculate table, cross filter, distinct. Karthik, go ahead.
You have only cross join function, is there no other function?
We don't have no other function. We need to write a filter on top of the cross join.
Suppose if you want to fetch the record like the condition satisfied left join right join, how can you?
So after performing cross join, you can do a condition, right? So cross join is what super join of out of all the joins, right? On top of it, you can write a condition whatever you want. Clear?
Yes. Can you, meanwhile, if we further can you explain one two examples after whenever.
On.
Hello.
Hello. Please go ahead, Karthik.
Meanwhile, in after the today. If it passes, then you explain 1-2 examples on that.
We'll see tomorrow. Okay. So from day after tomorrow, we'll see a project. As part of it, I will give that requirement also. Today I will share the requirement. Meanwhile, all the people create tables on it. So we'll work on that. Filters, and has one filter. So this is one of the important function. Use filter. One second. So use relationship will be covered, Krishna. So we need to hold on the things. Okay. So use relationship is part of filter function. We are going to have a discussion on it. So I'll accept all selected, all non-blank, calculate.
Is compute function is there seriously?
Compute, I feel I didn't have that function. I don't know. Okay, I don't know about the compute function, but yes, we have use relationship function is there, as I already conveyed. Like in this batch, 3 days or 4 days back, or some other batch, I given some scenario example. So we might have a fact table which contains information regarding the order date, purchase date, delivered date, but you have a date dimension only one column. We'll have only one active relationship will be there. If on a runtime we might need to calculate some measures based on a delivered date, or sometimes order date, sometimes based on purchase date. On a fly we need to change that relationship. We are going to make it active or deactive. At the time we are going to use relationship. So compute, I am not sure about that function. Fine, that use relationship will be discussed. Like is filter and related table, selected value, these are the functions which are available. Selected value, selected columns. Okay, so these are the functions which are under the category of filter functions. So filter, the time intelligence and parent and child functions are there. So I'm stopping here. I'm not continuing. Even if I continue, I can cover max 1 or 2 functions. So I'm stopping here. From a filter functions, we'll continue in the next session. There are two main category of functions that we left out. One is the filter functions and time intelligence functions, and we'll see from here in the next session. That's it. If anyone has any questions, please let me know through WhatsApp or drop me a mail. And as I said, like we are going to complete this one, and then after we'll have security. Meanwhile, I will send a doc. What are the tables that you need to create in order to work on the project? That's it from my end.
Okay.
Okay. Have a good day all. And if anyone has any questions, please ping me through WhatsApp. Bye now.